there, and thanks for watching Food with Len. Tonight I'm going to make lasagna, and essentially what I'm making is a store-bought lasagna that was on sale, provided I bought 10 pounds of ground beef. They were going to give me a whole bunch of stuff to go with it, and a lot of the stuff I'm going to use and a lot of it I'm not, but I took up that deal, and I'm using just a store-bought oven-ready lasagna, which was part of that deal. Normally I like to boil my lasagna, but in this case I'm not. So it starts out with the instructions of spraying a, I guess it's 9 by 13, whatever size this is, pan. And I don't really have any sprays, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit it with some cooking oil and wipe it down with a paper towel, which works as well as spray. And so anyway, let me go ahead and get that done, taken care of. And the first thing you want to do on this is layer the bottom and then put your cheese mixture in. Now what this recipe calls for, it calls for just 5 cheese, Italian cheese packet, which I found, and this one's Kraft. You know, there may be other brands. And it says to use like half the cheese into this mixture. And so I'm mixing that into a bowl. And along with that, I'm putting 24 ounces of ricotta cheese. The thing called for cottage cheese, but you can substitute ricotta. I prefer ricotta over cottage cheese in lasagna every day of the week. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put what I feel is like 24 ounces. So yeah, I'm thinking we're right about there. Yeah, one more little shot of that. And so anyway, you got 24 ounces of ricotta. You have like a cup of this grated cheese and 2 eggs for your cheese mixture. And aside from that, you have your what they're calling for is take a 24 ounce can of pasta sauce, and along with that you put like 1.5 pounds of ground beef or whatever. I made my own sauce. You can look at that. That's going to be up on my website. Pasta sauce, which I made from fresh tomatoes and all that. And I've got that ready. And to that video, in addition, I went ahead and added some ground beef to that. And I like mushrooms in mine, so I added some mushrooms into my sauce. So let me go ahead and get this whipped up real quick, and then we'll just be ready to start layering this out. Alright, so my cheese mixture is all taken care of. I've oiled my pan. The very first thing that I need to do is add some sauce to this. So I'm going into my sauce right here. It says add a scant amount to the bottom, and just move that around. So let me go ahead and do that right now. And there's plenty of oil on this pan, which it asked for, but there it is anyway. So anyway, my sauce is pretty meaty, and I've got my first layer down there with just the sauce. And the next instruction is to lay 3.5 of these lasagnas out, 3 lengthwise, and break one in half. So there's 1, 2, 3. Now I'm not sure if my pan's a little wide or whatever, but it doesn't seem to be giving the full coverage that it's supposed to. So go ahead and do that right there like that. And now it's asking to put half the cheese mixture on top of that layer. So I'm gonna kind of get an idea what half is right there, and that looks like about half. And I'm just going to spread that out, get it nice and even. I'm just using a rubber spatula to do that. Lasagna is really good. I mean, you know, there's a lot of different ways to make it, and I might actually make it some other ways. Now, I've never really used this oven-baked lasagna. I've always used in the past lasagna that you boil, which I've always thought was really good. And I don't know how this oven-baked is going to turn out. So I figured I'd give it a try, the pre-cooked lasagna, and you know, just see how that turns out for me. So anyway, you just go ahead and you put another layer right there, 3.5, like so, and then on this layer you add, they call it half the sauce, but I've got a lot of sauce here, so I'm just going to eyeball what seems to look right here. And in the meantime, I'm preheating my oven to 375 degrees. And this is going to go in the oven 50 minutes at 375 degrees with an aluminum foil cap on the top. And then you pull the aluminum foil off and you give it another 10 minutes, and then you let it stand for about 10 minutes. Now, I can tell you this right now, if this works out, you're seeing the video, it means it worked out. And if it didn't, you're not going to be seeing this video. So once again, this is my first try with these type of oven-ready noodles. And if it works out, then, you know, that's a tremendous shortcut, and you won't have to boil your noodles every time. So, and you're seeing this in real time like I am, so I don't know if it's going to work or if it's not going to work, but we'll find out soon enough. I probably shouldn't lick that because it's got raw egg in it. So anyway, now that you put the next layer of noodles on, you just want to spread out the rest of your cheese over that layer of noodles, like so. Pretty straightforward stuff here. And the thing I don't really like about store-bought lasagna, you know, the frozen type, is a lot of it tends to be real soupy. And I'm not really into a soupy lasagna. And this is going to be kind of interesting because it seems to me like you're going to need a little bit of soupiness to rehydrate these noodles here. So just going to have to see how that turns out when we cook it. Alright, and there's the rest of my cheese. It appears, yeah, okay, like one of my noodles is over there. So there's my cheese mixture. We're done with that. Now I'm going in with the last 3.5 of these. So get 1, 2, 3 here. And this particular brand might have been a little narrow because it appears they gave an extra couple of noodles. And so because of that, I'm going to go ahead and kind of fill in this end there where I was getting a little bit of short noodle on that. Alright, now the last thing that you do is going to go ahead and put sauce over the top like so. I'm not going to go real crazy with the sauce, but a generous portion. And you can really see where I was using my fresh tomatoes, and I liked it a little rustic, so I didn't cut them down too bad. So you can really see chunks of that in there. Plus you can see that I've got my mushrooms in there and everything. So that's the top layer. Get everything nice and even. And from there, you just drop the rest of the cheese on top. Spread it out real good. Make it nice and even. I'm using a throwaway pan for easier cleanup because when I get done with this, I don't really want to Be scrubbing a regular pan. You can use a regular pan if you want to. You got a real good dishwasher, that's good. My dishwasher is me, so I like the idea of a $1 pan that I can throw away. Alright, the next thing that it asks you to do is to cover it with aluminum foil. That is sprayed with oil. Now what I'm going to do is, you got a shiny side and a not so shiny side. I'm going to use the shiny side. I'm going to just go ahead and hit that with the paper towel that I had the oil on, which is going to suffice for oil spray. Now, so that I don't have to yank this out of the oven to remove the foil, I'm just going to put a really tiny lip around the back there, and then the rest I'm going to go ahead and lip up completely. And there you have it, ready to go in the oven. And I'm going to put this in the oven, and in 50 minutes, I probably won't record it, but in 50 minutes I'm just going to pull this aluminum foil off. I'm going to give myself a little handle here so I can do so. And when I reach in there to grab it, the foil should just pull right off. And I'll get back to you when it's done, and we'll see how it looks. Alright, I'm back. So I've taken out my lasagna from the oven, and you know, the top looks really good. I've let it stand for a few minutes, but I guess the ultimate test is going to be when I take a piece of this off of here and put it on a plate and try it out. Got a, yeah, pretty tough crust, which is, you know, pretty much standard for something like this. So let me go ahead and get a spatula or something so I don't really destroy this. Now we'll get a fork. Why not? Alright, so here's the real test. I'm just going to go in, I'm going to pull off a corner piece here, and it looks like a little bit left down below here, so I'll just tuck that in. Alright, so you all can see that. And this is pretty much a test for, you know, these oven-ready lasagna noodles. Surprisingly, it's really good. I really do like that. And it's not too wet, not too soupy, not too dry or anything like that. It's got a good flavor of cheese, and all the texture is right there. Yeah, I'm going to call this a win. So anyway, I hope you guys make this. Make it by this recipe or your own recipe or whatever. And if you do, please let me know how it turned out. I'd love to hear from you. Please comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll catch you in another video. Thank you.